Hi guys, hope you can see this okay. I've got a size 5 hook and a piece of £50 braid. Hope you can see that. And one thing before we do a knotless knot is the line needs to be free at both ends. So it needs to be a single piece of line. So if you want to tie hook length 4 inches long, cut a bit longer than that, so probably double it, and then when you get up for like a 6 foot hook length, like do 6.5 foot, just so you've got that little bit of room to wiggle with knots at either end and the wrapping down the hook. But yeah, thread the hook onto the line and then come down to the bottom end and pinch the line against the shank of the hook. So pinch it there, and this is what is quite important as well. See on the hooks they've got a smooth side, and then where they've been bent round to make the eye, it's really important that you always go that side first, because if not, all the line when the fish are pulling on it is going to be pulling on the sharper side of the hook. So onto the smooth side, round and round and round. You can go down as many times as you want, but I've picked a long shank hook hooked to show this just so it's easier. But as you can see, go down, go down, go down. If you're having a hair on this, it's really important that you keep going all the way down so your hair's trapped. And what you can do there, let go of that, hold that little line there, and this bit's really important, that you're going back through the back of the eye. So, and that is a knotless knot. Obviously pull it tight, make sure everything's there, and then trim this section of line off. Might be quite difficult, but these are good scissors from Gardner, just thick grade. But yeah, that's really important. But the reason why I say it's really important that you go through the back of that eye first is because your rig mechanics, you see how quickly that turns over and hooks into the fish. What I tend to see on the bank on a couple of times from anglers is this. Let me just unpick that back through. People going through the front of the eye, so the hook sits like that, and this is where it's going to backfire. I'm going to have a hook in my hand, but see there, lay it flat, dragging it over, much less the hooks being pulled into my hand. It can just be dragged across, and it's barely setting in compared to the other way round, which I'd go as far as to say is the correct way around doing it. Through the back of the hook, and again lay my hand flat as it comes round and hooks in. You can see how that's all pinching in, and it's going to drive the hook home. But yeah, don't recommend you do that on the back of your hand, but also that's how you tie a knotless knot. Thank you very much. Right guys, now I'm going to show you the knotless knot with a hair rig. This has loads of uses, from boilies to corn and any bait you want to put on your hair, meat for barbel on the river, loads of things. So I'm just going to, again using oversized tackle, make an overhand loop in the line, pass that through there, bring that down, wet the knot, pull that tight, then cut that tag end off. Again, remembering with the knotless knot you need a single piece of line, so it's got an end, two ends so to speak. Thread this part through the back of the hook, pull down, and then create however long you want your hair. So if you were fishing with a couple of big drilled pellets or a couple of big drilled boilies, you pop it like that, a snowman rig, or again if you're fishing with worms or corn, bring it down smaller. And again, quite popular in match fishing, obviously not on a size 5 hook, having a bait band in there to secure your pellet against it. I'm just going to tie it like that today. Really important, take this hand here, pinch the line down the shank of the hook, and then start whipping to secure that line, which is the hair. And again, really important now, just whip down. And I'm just going to show you a couple of things. So what I see quite often when people start trying their first hairs, this has an advantage and also a disadvantage. If you're using lines mono or fluorocarbon, what can happen is that hair can kick up and stay like that. So when you think the fish is having a good presented bait, your pellets, boilies might be sat like that. That's quite a wide mass to get into a fish's mouth. Obviously, the more and more we whip down the hook, the less movement that hair's got, and that is how I prefer to present my bait also. Again, I'll whip all the way down. Obviously this is a long shank hook just so you guys can see, but you see there's a lot less movement in that hair. Imagine that with a couple of bits of corn on, it'd be sat nicely. But really important, trap that last wrap round you've done, and again remembering to go through the back of the hook to create that mechanic. And that is a knotless knot with a hair rig. Thank you very much for watching.